Thanks all, that should have fixed it. Hey! For some reason it defaulted to not any of the other microphones that could have possibly picked me up, just with poor sound quality. It's now fixed it. So I was just saying, good to see some of the regulars. We can hear you now. Thank you, Forever the Skeptic. Gustav's here, good to have you. Rolled sad for the lonely dark elves. I was saying, me too. Ginger Steve is here. I may start. Fantastic. That is always what I'm waiting for. Happy Friday, Landon. Same to you. Hello, Forever the Skeptic. Steve Rogers will be watching this immediately after dinner. Love my content. It's keeping the painting sessions going strong. That's really kind of you to say. Thank you, Steve. And it is good just to have stuff to put on in the background. I've been listening to a lot of Northern Lion, who is he plays, various auto battler style games, but he's just a fairly sane individual, and I've been enjoying having that on the background while I work from home. Make Wood Elves great again. That is the plan. That is the plan. I feel like that phrase has got less funny over the years. I have a hat that says Make Orcs Great Again from when they got nerfed in 9th edition. I feel like now we're time for round 2 of him. I'm less amused by that phrase, but Orc Boy Fulls, I can't start You Forbid It. That's unfortunate, because I'm here. And I feel like I have to. So this is a little bit different. I thought I was originally planning to play a stream game on Friday, and then I sat down. I thought, I don't really know what I want to do with Wood Elves. I feel like I need to sit down and have a good, just completely reevaluate the entire thing. So I think that's probably the approach that we're going to do. Look through the entire index, look at the spells that they can take, and then see what direction we want to take Wood Elves in. Any sort of live comments or input that you guys want to put in as well, I can pick up, answer any questions. So let's just start here with the army list. What do I think about the Ethereal Poison Brick with Deepwood Scouts? I haven't considered it. They're expensive, aren't they? They are expensive. I'll come back to this in a second. Page 120. How much are we paying for Glade Guard? I think it's like 11 points. Yeah, it is 11 points. 2 wolf pill, 2 elf pill, that's what I was trying to say. Nothing but Eternal Guard, yeah, you know it. 11 points, so if you take 100 of them, God, that's too many. If you take 70 of them, that's still so many. From way back in 3rd, Dark and Wooled Elves have felt like fluff choices for armies. You play them out of love, not competitiveness. But we can do the best we can with what we've got, I think. We'll see what we can do there. I wonder if there is something here. Maybe we'll come back to that one. I feel like you'd want a pair of casters if you wanted that, because you still probably want the TMP, even with the reserve move. But we'll have a look at that. So characters, it is... let me just put it on there. Yeah, so characters, we're looking at 0 to 1 Glade Lord, a Spellweaver, and you can have 0 to 1 Tree Man Ancient per 1,000 points. This feels like, to me, the illusion of having what Chaos have. In that you're like, oh, I could just take an additional additional Lord, and it gives me a lot of flexibility as opposed to just having these two. But I don't know that the Tree Man Ancient is ever worth taking. Unless we try and lean into some sort of points denial build, which we could have a look at. I guess I'm going to look at this through 2 lenses, which is the first being as if the rumoured changes are coming in, and then the second is as if the rumoured changes aren't coming in. And I'm going to have to just sort of balance between the two, I guess, because as it stands, it's hard to tell which direction it's going. So then we've got Unlimited of all of the other characters. No limitations there other than Waystalkers unlock the Waywatchers in Rare. People have been pretty hype on Waywatchers. I guess just because there's loads of points that aren't tied up in special immediately makes them more interesting. Winslow, I too am salty over the Lord Plus characters and my not having one. You talking for Beastmen? Because for Beastmen have it really rough, I think. They all of their characters are locked behind the same. And you could say that that's fair, and it's how everyone else do. Even in Perfidy, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, this is the... I think this is the illusion of choice up there, but that's fine. Core is 1+ unit of Glade Guard. Eternal Guard Dryads, Glade Riders, Deepwood Scouts as a core. This is like the building blocks of old world Wood Elves, I think. The 0 to 1 unit of Deepwood Scouts. I feel like you take 2 of those, even though you might not be scouting them now that they basically give your opponent a +1 to go first every time. You have to pick a unit of Waystalkers, have a champion, name a Carillion. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Carillion. I feel like this is a lore reference that I don't understand, but we can... Oh, is this Vermintide? Okay, yeah, I get you. I get you. Who's ready for the White Lion Overlords? I have been promising that I would play White Lions. We'll get to that at some point. It feels worse for Beastmen since we're capped at 350 points for a Lord and to also have that limit. Yeah, that's super fair. You could argue that you can make really competent not Doom Bulls, Gore Bulls, the hero level Minotaur, but that's not much of an argument. Like, you are right. I want to take 2 casters and a Doom Bull. That's what I want to do with Beastmen. Okay, so special. Obviously, we've got the Scouts, if you want to take additional. Wildwood Rangers, who are terrible, if I remember correctly. War Dancers that I need to reconsider. They're super squishy, but they do have real output. Sisters of the Thorn, Wild Riders, and Warhawk Riders, and then 0 to 2 units of Treekin per 1,000 points. They're effectively not capped, given how expensive they are. White Lions are objectively the best lines in the old world. That's a fair comment. I can't argue with that. That is reasonable. Hopefully some of the Armies of Infamy will have more flex. I think they probably will, Winslow. I don't know in which direction. Maybe it'll have less flex. Maybe you'll only have level 2 casters. Monkey's Paws, you know, curls. But you can take unlimited Minotaur Lords or something like that. Rare is Treemen, Waywatchers, and Great Eagles. And obviously Waywatchers are capped. Mercenaries, 20% Mercenaries. What Mercenaries are available? If we just go to... I'm not going to adjust the screen for this. But if I just search Mercenaries, is there a list of... So there's the Dwarf Mercenaries, the Bone Grinder Giant, which I don't think you can take for any... Yeah, not you. Imperial Dwarves can only be taken by Dwarves and Empire. Is there anything that is a mercenary you can take with Wood Elves? Because if there is, that is something that's worth looking at. Badland Ogres. Ooh, good shout. Let's have a look. Any army. Okay. Are they worth taking? They do have Motley Crew. Tell you what, let me just find the correct PDF here. Orcs and Goblins. That'll be easier to read. So if we just look into the Badland Ogre Bulls. Here we go. So we're looking at 31 points a model, so it's just a bull. Move 6, weapon skill 3 is terrible, strength and toughness 4 is good, wounds 3. So it is literally just a bull with leadership 7, and you can't use the leadership of a general or the BSB.
Edward, I was wondering if you could settle a local discussion for me. Can the steam tank use its steam cannon and steam gun in the same turn?
Thank you very much, Landon. Let me have a look for you. What is it? Empire, like page 60-ish, right? Yeah, here we go. So if we have a quick look here at the steam tank. Okay, so steam cannon, steam gun, hand weapon. There's a button that says "Let me celebrate the first super on a live stream." And then it's not letting me click anything, so I'm going to celebrate. Woo! Party time! So, weapons are fired by the crew, right? So to go to this, we need to go... Chariot, I think. Hold on, if I go to this screen, is this better? No, it's equally terrible. That's fine. Hey, Anthony, hope you're doing well. Greetings from Chatham, not that one, Ontario. Ah, excellent stuff. I do have a good number of people I talk to from Canada. Always nice to see more of you. Agree with Winslow, but not even the Empire Facebook group can agree. Okay, so Winslow says the tank fires the cannon and gun. Right, so there's something in the FAQ as well. So if we go to Warhammer Community, Hey, Nicholas. Painting some Glade Riders for a tournament tomorrow while listening. Hell yeah. The Steam Tank question was answered sort of in the FAQ. That was perfect timing, because that's exactly where I'm going, because I thought there was something about that. I think there's very specific wording on it. So if we go... Steam Cannon can only fire into the front arc. Let me go... I don't think it's under Steam Cannon here. Can it fire Grape Shot? Yes. Oh, here we go. Can the Commander and Steam Cannon both shoot during the same turn? So there is an imagined crew that fire the cannon, and then the Commander fires its own weapon. And that makes sense, because if we just have a look at... Where have you gone? Too many bloody pages open. This one. Nope, this one. It is... interesting that the Steam Tank doesn't have its own ballistic skill. I guess you don't technically need a ballistic skill to shoot a cannon, but yeah, there's nothing on the Steam Cannon and Steam Gun. Oh, because the Commander can then take... Right, so then we need to look at... There is something about crew firing as well, because there's a specific wording. Okay, so it's not in this one. I think it's in the main FAQ. So if I just find the word crew. Who shoots the weapons? The crew, the beast that joins... I would argue, and this is not... I'm not 100% sure on this, but looking at this passage here, some chariots are equipped with large-scale missile weapons, yada yada. Who shoots the weapons? The crew, the beasts that draw the chariot to the chariot itself. Missile weapons mounted on chariots are shot by the crew using their ballistic skill. I would argue that looking at this, the Commander is the crew. It's, you know, that's the way that it's formatted. And given that the Steam Cannon is specifically called out to be shot by the Steam Tank, I'd say that leaves the Commander free to shoot one weapon. Whether that is the Steam Gun... Oh, no! No, because the equipment's on the Steam Tank. Ooh. Yeah, no, I've just noticed that, Landon. He can fire separately. Yeah, I actually think you're right. I don't think the Steam Gun can fire on the basis of it's attached to the Steam Tank and it's not equipped by the Commander. If the Commander had the Steam Gun, yes. So I think no, actually.
Edward I was wondering where you were in the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special. Seeing as you're obviously Welsh, I assume you were there hiding somewhere. Did they put you in the fat suit to be James Corden?
Thank you, Steve. I can only aspire to be as funny and friendly and nice to my staff as James Corden. What a lovely chap, eh? But no, I'm a little bit Welsh. I'm Welsh enough that it's one of those sort of like footnotes you might see in, you know, or like, you know, go around and introduce yourself, and I'd be like, oh well, I'm an 8th Welsh because both of my parents are an 8th Welsh. So I've got that going for me. I love the Welsh accent. I did choose, I believe the voice is Gawain, accidentally. I think I put it on and then just completely forgot about it. But yeah, it does bring me joy when it pops up. Mostly for the money, but also for the voice. You know, both of those are good. Let's have a look. Ed says using his, he only fires one or the other. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think you can only shoot either the Steam Cannon or the Steam Gun. And then if you buy an upgrade, you can buy any of the shoot any of these with the Commander. That's interesting. That's less clear than I think it should be. This is a good one. Same here. Whenever the rules are vague, I try to give my opponents the advantage. That's a great attitude. If there's anything that you're not certain on... fuck. Steve. Ed is the James Corden of 40k. That is not true, and you know it. Who is the James Corden of 40k? I don't feel like I can answer that question on a live stream. We'll talk about that in the group chat, Steve. We'll have an answer. Accents, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, do enjoy a good Canadian accent. But this is probably what it's like when people say, oh, I love a British accent. I'm like, what are you talking about? We have 75. And if I say I love a Canadian accent, you'd be like, what do you mean? There are so many. You can't move and use grape shots. That's about the only time I ever use the Steam Gun. Fair. That is fair, actually. Steam Gun is, yeah, the breath weapon. it's rare that that's going to be better. Although Warden regens can be used but no armor save, so against heavily armored infantry, like Cathay, I'm assuming Cathay are heavily armored just from looking at the wiki earlier. Oh, there's going to be a fun video coming out on Sunday. Me and Max from Barefoot Minis just sat down and looked through the Total War wiki, and we're like, what do we think's coming? It's a VIP only question. Very good. Waystalker's not playable. I'd like to try cool models. Oh yeah, we got distracted. Let's go back to Wood Elves. I don't know. Like, the problem with the Waywatchers is this. Well, there's two problems. The first is that you have to take a Waystalker for every unit of Waywatchers, and that gets a little bit rough, because when I've got skirmishing infantry that want to shoot, I don't want to put too many points into each unit. I want to have them spread out. I want to make sure that I can get as many spread out as possible. And that means you have to take multiple Waystalkers, and I just don't think a Waystalker brings enough to be worthwhile. But you have to take them, so you have to basically just roll them into the cost of the Waywatchers, and they're already expensive. Second problem, because poison shooting is so good, you kind of just go, is it worth ever doing? Because you could just not do that, and you could take cheaper Deepwood Scouts, have poison shooting, and never have to care about, you know, all you roll is 6. It doesn't matter if you hit
As
with
it
freeze.
Darwy, I think these algae now belong in the trash as they should be.
Tanako, no! I'm sure you've said nice things about Dark Elves in the past, and if you haven't, I'm sorry for mischaracterizing you. Thank you very much, but I think this is slander. There was someone who recently left a comment on my video saying, "Oh, if it's not dwarves, I don't care." It's like, I think you're in the wrong place. I think you might have confused me with Dowie After Dark. Obviously, we look very similar. I'm about as tall as he is, have the same tattoos. My beard is obviously as luxurious as his. Stalkers were okay before the 1 enchanted arrow per turn clarification. Yeah, that makes a big difference. That does make a big difference. And is the sniping characteristic of the Waywatchers viable? I don't think it is because of Lookout Sir, but we'll have another look at it in a second. We'll get to there. Obviously, allies, there's no such thing, so that's fine. And then Battle Standard Bearer, you can take Clay Guard Captain BSB for 25 points, which is fine. So, like, the thing that immediately stands out is I probably want to be running multiple stags and playing sort of Poor Man Brett, but with really good shooting and, like, an Elementalism caster as support. That's my first thoughts, but we can go through and have a look. Dark Elves are the most dwarven elves, to be fair. They hold grudges for centuries. That is accurate. Yeah, that's fair. And the most in need of therapy. So yeah, very like dwarves in my opinion. Have I got the there we go, let me put it on the correct screen. Only stag I like the look of is Sister of the Thorn. I've got some, I don't know if I've got one to hand. I got some really cool 3D printed elves from Nicholas actually. And then I didn't end up playing them because I played them online and didn't really want to play the Triple Sisters list. Yeah, I don't have it to hand. I'll have to see if I can find it. I got some really cool 3D printed stags, and I also found one online so I could have a bit of variety. But there's some cool models out there, they're just not the official ones. Dark Elves don't need therapy, they're completely well adjusted. Sure, buddy. I don't want to argue with someone as volatile as a Dark Elf. Very much the Dark Elves and everyone are natural enemies. You've made an enemy for life. Meme. 6th edition stag model is so derpy, the warmost. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Hey, Tom, good to have you. Your 8-year-old told you today after seeing a video of Richie, it's no wonder he beats me because he looks like he'd be good in battle. And he has anime boss music for his videos. I mean, I can't argue with that. Thanks, Landon. Hit the like button so I don't have to sell my beloved 40k models. I was thinking about that. I probably should sell all my 40k stuff because I'm not using it, so what's the point in sitting on it? What's up, Tom? Going through all of the Wood Elf stuff to find out what we're doing. So let's make a vague. So in all seriousness, you have dragons and wild riders are good feast and famine units. I'm not a Wood Elf dragon fan, and the more I think about it, the less I want to index into it. So it might, I think it brings the play floor of Wood Elves up. It's harder to mess up when you've got a big dragon, but it also just means that there are some matchups that become kind of unwinnable. And so, like, that's the poison shooting matchups. I understand that there's the teleport, the evasive on that, but I'm just wary about poison shooting. High Elves know what they did. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Steve. I mean, you can have dibs. It's not painted particularly well, but you're more than welcome to pick it up. Again, if I catalogue it, I'll put it in the chat for you. Clearly, my double dragon list is the meta. Oh yeah, were you playing the double dragon wood elf list? No, there was a double dragon dark elf list that I remember seeing. Yeah, I also cried a happy tear when they get nerfed. I didn't cry, but I wasn't upset about it. Anyway, right, let's get on to the nobles. So, stat line is good, move 5 is good, weapon skill, ballistic skill 7. They don't really use the ballistic skill because the bows are bad, and I feel like the cost per shot is maybe a bit high, but maybe we look at that. I need to remind myself, is an Azrael longbow user strength? Yeah, so this is a strength 4 shot. So, if we go back... Maybe we look at actually taking an enchanted arrow, because it's 6 points, and you could go Arcane Bodkins, and you've got a shot that is hitting on, what's that, 2s then 5s, and you've got Arcane Bodkins as well for the Strength 4 AP2. That's not awful, and I feel like you want to squeeze as much out of it as possible. Hawkstar. I don't think Hawkstar is playable when Bretonians exist. Unlike the gyro spam list, where you can just shoot your opponent to death, there's no real shooting on the Hawks. If you don't have a ballistic skill that you can shoot, that's funny. Ed selling 2 of his 40k armies, need more space for Old World. Wise. You do own every Old World model in existence, I think, Ed. So, what are we working with here? So... it feels like Great Weapon is always the choice unless you go for a magic item. I feel like attacks-wise, 4 is too low to really index into a magic weapon. Because at 135 points, you're already not cheap. You do have great stats, weapon skills 7, leadership 10, and then you've got, you know, in the middle here, this is all kind of terrible as Lords go. But initiative 6 strikes first is good. So it takes you 139 if you go for the... Great Weapon, and then you need to be mounted realistically. Could do a Wild Rider block with Glade Rider screens. I'm worried about shooting. Wild Riders feel like a very expensive way for me to lose very squishy models. As a non-Wood Elf player, you still feel harsh for them in the FAQ. Choose a non-repeated spell would have been better. Yeah, that's fine. It's one of those where, like, it's so obviously bad for the game that I am happy to see it go. I understand that it does have a knock-on effect, and some people aren't going to be happy with that, which I get. Same speed as a Black Orc when you take your Great Weapon. Yeah, as long as they're using a hand weapon. Dreads when screening. Do you think that you should be tooling up a Wood Elf Dragon to fight another dragon? Better off to just pick up points from less defensible units. Well, so the thing that the Wood Elf Dragon does is it is arguably the best dragon in the game in melee. You can get, you know, you're really hard to deal with because you can be effectively... No, you can't get -2 to be hit. You can only be -1 to be hit. But you're still the best one. What's actually good in the Wood Elf list right now? Oaken Stave, Reserve Move, Scouts, Dragon Stag. Those are the things that immediately jump out. But we're gonna have a look at everything, because maybe there's some second tier units that are now worth running because there's no what should we call it? Yeah, so the Stagger 2, Spellweaver, Spellslinger, loads of MSU, Glade Guard, Deepwood Scouts, Glade Riders. Yeah, so that's the list that we put together on stream. Is this the one? Oops, no, that's not the list. So I think this is the list, yeah. I don't think triple stag is right. But, you know, then you've just got all the standard stuff in here. Why is this the thorn in here still? Maybe someone was asking about them point-wise. But we did put some lists together on stream, I want to say last Friday. Yeah, so... In terms of the lords, like, the lords are good. Elf lords are just great. And then the captain is pretty cheap, 70 points. There's nothing on here that's super obvious apart from the forest sprites. The only ones that typically we take is the befuddlement for -1 to weapon skill and initiative, and then also the annoyance of netlings, which are good. Do we care about terror? I don't think we've got the spell laws to care about terror, but we can maybe come back to that one. One or more shooting attacks suffers D3 additional hit strength 2 hits with AP nothing, armor bane 1. This is just awful for 40 points. This is so far below rate. Matthew saying -2 to hit with the inefficient choice of bedazzling helm. I think we were referring to the dragon, and you can't take the helm on the dragon, which is good. You shouldn't be able to. But I think you're capped at -1 for the dragon to be hit in combat. Murderous Spites is the additional hits in melee. D3 strength, 2 hits at AP1. That probably doesn't move the needle at all. Lamentation of Despairs is interesting. An additional -1 to leadership for fear, panic, or terror. But it's only fear, panic, and terror. If you want a terror bomb, you need to combo, because there's no good characters that can take more than 50 points of Forest Sprites. There's a talisman that gives -1 leadership. Yeah, maybe that can be built into Trey. We'll have a look at that. And then the magical attacks. I really like Resplendent of Luminescence. This does make it into my list sometimes. So let's see if we can work out a terror angle. So weapon-wise, there's nothing in here that interacts with terror or causes panic. Nope, that's fine. Is there... So we can give a unit terror or fear with the banner. That's not awful. Where's the enchanted item? Yes, here we go. Wraithstone, 50 points. -1 to leadership within 6 inches. That's so expensive for what it is. Level 4 wizard on a unicorn and a unit of treekin. Triple save infantry that does a thing. I think you can't join forest spirits and non-forest spirits, unfortunately. But we'll look at that in a second as well. I think it's still Sisters, still better than Wild Riders for escorting the stags. I don't think you want to have... So I actually don't think you want to have a unit escort the stags, because they're going to die to these small arm shooting way easier than the stag would, and then you might panic. A stag, in theory, should survive most small arms fire without issue. So I don't know that I want anything to escort the stags. Like, having something to look out to them against big shooting is good, but not actually having them in the unit is probably my approach. So we're looking at 100 points or 120 points of additional cost to get the benefit of all of the terror bombing, and we can't take necromancy. So maybe I just don't know that it makes the cut there. Is there anything that causes... Yeah, here we go. Wailing Arrow. 20 points, single use, causes a panic. But you have to take an unsaved wounds. And you can't combo this with your other weapons. You can't combo it with, like, a Hagbane or a AP. So you've got to actually wound. I think Wailing Arrow just is so unlikely to actually do anything. Even if you hit, which you hit most of the time. Let's assume you're hitting on 2s, because long range and moved, that feels pretty realistic. So you're at 83%. And then to do a wound, let's say you're shooting into T3, so you get 2/3 of that, so you're, what, like 50-something%. But then they have to not save it. Like, even best case scenario, you're looking at, like, a 50% chance for 20 points to cause a panic check. And then they have to fail it. With Undead being so good in the current meta, I'm hesitant about terror bombing. That's super reasonable. That is reasonable. Yeah. It's frustrating that Wood Elves don't have any unit champs to put over 20 points of magic items on. That is frustrating. And it's very different to, you know, the other elves. Second or third class citizens, I guess. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here that's super catching the eye at the moment in combination with the Noble. The other thing is mounts. Let's just have a look at mounts and refresh the memory. So there's the Steed, which is a fast cav, light cav, whatever you want to call it. this is good and will get you there, but it's not really for the noble. Great Stag is great. We'll look at in a second. Warhawk and Eagle. So let's have a look at the Warhawk. I don't think the Warhawk does it. It gives you +1 toughness and no wounds. So you'll be, for 30 points, a T4 3-wound model. You do have Fly 10 and Swift Stride. And you've got 2 attacks at Strength 4 AP2, which is fine. I just can't see this surviving unless you then take a unit, put it in, and that's so many points. Noble Stag and Helm gives you best armor save. Yes, you can get two stags to a 2-up save, which is obviously valuable. So I don't think the Warhawk is it. Let's have a look at the Eagle, just in case there's anything here. So there is no save on this thing. Just like giving this Armored Hide 1 would maybe give you something. I guess it is a bird, so it doesn't really make much sense. But it's kind of just a slightly better Warhawk. You've still got the 2 attacks with the Wicked Claws, 1 additional attack with the Serrated Maw, which just doesn't do anything most of the time. T4 3 wounds, value time. So Aaron says it's funny Wood Elves got nerfed just before released. It's really good that they got nerfed, because otherwise all of the cool stuff that they're going to get in their Arcane Journal just wouldn't get played, because you just be like, oh, I'll just play Triple Sisters of the Thorn with Pillar of Fire. High Elves come with plate armor, so their eagles work. Yeah, but they've got like griffins so that you could just put them on, which is way better. It feels a shame that there's no griffin for yeah. The stag's great. Obviously the stag is fantastic and it is the go-to. AP1 armor bane, 1 impact hits, or impact hit, single stomp attack, which is just nice to have. 2 attacks at weapon skill 4, strength 5, AP1, armor bane 1. All of this is solid. It moves reasonably fast at move 8 swift stride. Move through cover is good. It has fear already, so we could look at doing terror with that if we wanted to. The high elf dragons must be bitey strong, carrying an elf and Elfamar plate. I don't think elves plus plate are very, very heavy. So I think it's just got to be the stag for me. I mean, obviously there is the dragon, and it is a good dragon. It's only weapon skill 6, which really sucks because you're hitting a lot of troops on 3s instead of 2s. I understand that is a very first world problem to have. 9 wounds at T6 is very standard for elves. It's a little bit cheaper than some of the other ones. It does have a serrated maw that you have to attack with. I hate that for us. But it is, you know, still the D6 stomp attacks, and it's a Terror Causer. It's just, you can't get it above a 4-up save, right? And that's a real problem. The breath weapon is good, yeah. Strength 2 ignores armor saves. I mean, the Dark Elf one is a better version of this, which is Strength 4, no armor saves. And I didn't find myself using it very often, so I'm not sure that I would be leaning into this all that much. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go Forest Dragon, I think that kind of just builds itself. I don't think we need to look too deeply into Forest Dragon, because if you want to run it, just run it, and you know what's good with it. You just go with the sprites. You give it, you know, probably a 4 ward save and a great weapon. That's probably the way to go. So I don't think there's anything else. Also, let's reassess. Better elves with a better dragon. High elves have the best dragon. I'm pretty hyped to play a high elf dragon where they've got weapon skill 7. So let's just have another look at what Arrows of Kurnos. I don't think this is ever right, but before you do the roll off, within 36, immediately suffers a strength 3 hit. No armor of regen saves permitted. However, they get +1 to the hit. This is just bad. Like, is there ever any reason to want to roll this? I guess if the general is a wizard on foot, or like not mounted on a chariot or a monstrous creature, you could then, because it's a hit, can you look out Sir it? I feel like you can look out Sir it. Let me just have a. I need to remind myself on the timing of look out Sir. Characters. If he's hit by a shooting attack, yeah. So I think if it's a squishy character in a unit, you can just go look out, Sir, and pass it on to someone else. we talking about? Why are we talking about Bretonnians? It's not shooting. Okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's right. It's not a shooting attack. Okay, fair enough. So you still pass on, usually to a T4 or maybe even T5 target. So, oh right, yes, Bretonnians. Yeah. Cool. I'm with you. So you can get a freebie shot against Bretonnians. I need to remember that actually, because I probably just wouldn't bother. If for some reason you want to go second, I guess. Yeah, that's true. And if you're taking scouts, is there a way that we build into realistically going second? And just having the flexibility, or not the reliability of going second? I don't know. Is there a reason that we might want to go second? Maybe. I don't think there's anything juicy here other than what we've kind of been looking at. So I think it's probably just a regular Noggle with Great Weapon. Maybe we have a look at the magic items in a sec. In fact, let's have a look at, like, is there a way to tool up an exciting melee character that isn't just a Great Weapon? I prefer defense, but is there enough offense combo? Big ambush list. World route. Ambush. Maybe. Spear of Twilight is always wound on 3+, AP2 killing below magical attacks. I was talking about how I didn't love this, but there is the combo with the Locust where you can't increase the strength of the opponent's attacks. I don't think that's worth going for, because that means that you can't get the stag up to can't get them up to a 2-up save, and you also can't get them to have a ward save. So I think you're giving up too much for that. What is the cheapest way? 50 points, 65. There is, I feel like there's a heavy armor that you can buy. What is the cheapest way you can get there? So 70 points for heavy armor, 60 points for bedazzling helm. I think that's it. I think it's just 50 points or more. So any magic items we're looking at, we've got to be looking at 50 points at the absolute maximum. Blades of Leok, I don't think make any sense. You need the additional rules to actually get them to do anything that you get on the Shadow Dancer. Best of the Dragon. I still don't love it on the Dragon, because no ward save on a Dragon with only a 4-up armor save. You're going to die to cannons. Bowleran. Yeah, so there's nothing there. I guess we could be looking at... we could go... because we're going to go realistically 50 points or less. Dragon Slaying Sword. That doesn't do it for me, because the mount doesn't do much, so I think you need to make sure you're doing damage with it. Spell-Eater Axe doesn't do it. Giant's Blade, maybe. It only gets you up to Strength 5, AP 0, Armor Bane 2. Not having any additional AP is... yeah. Helm, and come back to it. I like Helm on the Captain, and I like the Bedazzling Plate on the Lord. But yeah, I guess we've kind of just sort of gone into this one a bit more than it needs to. I don't think there's anything super spicy here that we can look at. So let's move on. If we go back to the go up to the mages. So mages they can still have 50 points of sprites, 15 points of the talismanic tattoos for a 6-up ward, which I don't think is necessary. They can be mounted, but they can't take a dragon. And they've got battle magic, elementalism, high magic, and illusion. I feel like the spell we want to go for now is... oh, sorry, the lore we want to go for. Maybe it isn't battle magic anymore, despite battle magic still being very good. And I guess it depends how you build, but I'm more willing to look at other lores now. So obviously battle magic has... because if you're going lore familiar, you're probably going Oaken Stave realistically. So this is still a good lore. Double damage, Arcane Urgency, Oaken Shield, Curse of Arrow Attraction. Hey, Beowulf Miniatures, thank you very much. That's super generous of you. As always, if you have been gifted a membership, do make sure to say thank you. But also, ping me in the Knees Roll channel on Discord, which is down below. Anyone's welcome to join. We now have over 500 people on there. It's a great time. Lots of conversation going. Can't take Demonology, can't take Dark Magic. Elementalism is also an obviously good one as well. Plague of Rust, Earthen Ramparts, Wind Blast, TMP. TMP is kind of not great for Wood Elves. I feel like you don't necessarily need it. Although if you're not taking Arcane Urgency, it is a second level of reliability. Can't wait for the tree army. Me too, mate. I absolutely cannot wait. I'm really looking forward to that. Trees are my favourite part of Wood Elves. Level 4 Elemental with Stave and a level 2 Battle with Lore Familiar Scroll. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. High Magic. Drain Magic. So, I mean, Drain Magic is terrible. This is a lore that I'm more interested in trying to make work, potentially. So Walk Between Worlds is obviously good with Ethereal and Reserve move. Fury of Cain is good as well, because it can juice up a combat unit. So I'm wondering if we look at putting a level 4 on foot into a unit of not Waystalkers. The Swordy Swords. How have I forgotten the name? War Dancers. The problem is you don't have a 4-up ward save, the same as High Elves do, against magic missiles. So it's hard to justify. Oh yeah, War Dancers alone is fuck. God damn it. There's always something trying to ruin my fun. So yeah, that goes out the window. There's Illusion as well. Illusion's good. Glittering Robes goes really nicely with a skirmishing unit on foot, so I could see them. You could go for something like that, and then you've got Column of Crystal, Miasmic Mirage. You're not a Spectral Doppelganger caster, though. And you really need to take Lore Familiar for this. The Wildwood Rangers. Alright, let's have a look at the Rangers. Let's skip ahead, and let's go at the Wildwood Rangers, which are probably about 130. 131. It's not bad, but it feels like Wood Elves took Empire's place at the bottom somewhat. I don't think that's true. I think that like what they have is still really solid. TMP lets you move a unit with Earthen Ramparts much further than you normally can. That's true. A lot of the time, you're not wanting to have a unit with Earthen Ramparts for Wood Elves because you just don't want to be interacted with. I feel like Wildwood Rangers would be way better if you could take Demonology. Getting them natively up to 2 attacks at strength 6 AP2 would be good. This rule is solid, but also you're like strength 5, and they're charging you realistically, so you're never getting the attacks off. But if you do have high magic, and we go for Walk Between Worlds, that's solid. Cast on a 10, which makes me a little bit nervous. Illusion to cast Shimmering Dragon on your Stag Lord. Oh, that's a very good shout, actually. That is a very good shout. Yeah. Okay, fly 10 on a Stag. I can get behind that. At which point you're probably going Glittering Robes, Shimmering Dragon, Column of Crystal, and Spectral Miasmic Mirage, right? That is a solid set of spells. Kind of see what the Arcane Journal brings. Me too. Me too. Yeah, so I'm kind of on board with Illusion. So what is an Illusionist joining? Because it really would be the War Dancers. But I guess it's not because we can't do anything with them. Oh yeah, we never finished looking at the Battleland Ogre Bulls. That's okay, we can come back to them. I think they're just probably not the play. But are the Wildwood Rangers any good? They are close order, immune psychology, so I can't run away with them, and I don't get any minuses to hit. And they're a T3 model with light armor and no other bonus to their save, so that's horrendous. So we are really leaning on the high magic if we go for them. So I don't think it's Wildwood Rangers. What else have we got? Eternal Guard. I just can't see us joining them. Your strength 3 AP1 fighting 2 ranks. This is not it. Then we've got the archers as well. Is there anything else on here? War Dancers. If only they didn't have Loner. If only you could make a level 4 caster marked by a War Dancer. You know, the way that they could back in 6th edition and just give the sort of all of the bonuses that way and have them join the unit. Lost an entire unit of Dragon Ogres to them in your last game. Wildwood Rangers? Hell yeah, Bromo Sapien. Good stuff, eh? Way Watchers, I feel like you don't want to put more points into them. Problem with Wood Elf Infantry, no native strength 4. Yeah, there's just nothing to attach them to. So what about... Is there a world where we look at putting the level 4 caster with Illusion in Cavalry? I mean... No. I miss the Kindred system. Yeah, I really like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back. Warhawk Riders, they're mounted, but again, it's just the problem with the fly and the move 2. It's just too much. And there's no way to shut it down, right? I just don't see what we're putting an Illusion Caster in to buff them. So maybe you're just running it as a standalone, which is fine, but not exactly exciting. War Dancers. I do want to try War Dancers out. Might as well just go with the default reserve move Glade Riders. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I want to put them in to make them more reliable. Wild Riders or not much else, yeah. The problem is as well, the Illusion Caster... No, hold on. Let's think this through. Let's say we're going Illusion. If we're going Illusion, that opens up Spectral Doppelganger. If we're opening up Spectral Doppelganger, how about we've got Spear of Twilight, right? 65 points, and then we've got 30 points for a Lore Familiar, and 5 points for nothing else. If only the Wood Elf Dragon got a dragon. Wood Elf Wizard got a dragon. Yeah, I agree. Oof. High Magic for Ethereal on Wild Riders is fun. Yeah, Uniform. I've considered doing that. The problem is you don't get much else out of the lore, and you also get reserve move already on them, and you don't have to roll a spell for it. So it kind of feels like you're doubling up, and you're losing a lot of what makes them good already. But I'm feeling like maybe we look at an Illusion Caster with Spear of Twilight, and we build in defenses another way. You've got a ward save, right, on Wild Riders. It's going to be a 6-up ward save, isn't it? Talismanic Tattoos. Let's just refresh our memory. I feel like Talismanic Tattoos are a 6-up. Yeah, they really are. God, that sucks. That sucks. Let's put it into a builder anyway. Let's just have a look at... how much it costs to commit to a Wood Elf Caster, because maybe there's like a full violence list that I'm just not seeing, with like a dragon and Illusion Caster that goes in a unit of Wild Riders. So violence, let's start here. So if we go Spellweaver, who is, just remind myself, T3 with 3 wounds, initiative 4, and has Elven Reflexes. God, they're only initiative 4? That feels rough. I don't know why I'm surprised, but that doesn't feel good. Does Fury Cane apply to mounts? It does, yeah, it's all models in the unit. So we're going Illusion, and we're going for the Spear of Twilight. Yep, and then we're going Power Lore Familiar. We can't even go Power Scroll. God, that feels bad. And there's nothing else we can take. Potion of Foolhardiness doesn't matter. Grim. And then what are we putting it on? I want to put it on a Unicorn, can I? You still have Countercharge, which I think I got wrong on stream last week. Beguiling Aura is good. The Leadership Test. So, it's so many points, but is there a world where we combo this with the -1 Leadership? Oh no, it's not that, is it? What was the sprite that was... minus to leadership, or was it just terror? No, I feel like there was a 20-point sprite that that gives you what we're looking for here. All the way up. Oh yeah, it's only fear, panic, or terror, so it doesn't actually work there. Did I ever get Heralds of Darkness to work? Yeah, basically you just go as many, like 2 to 3 chariots, a level 4 caster, and then you just fill up with like a big bus of knights and then dragon ogres in core. That was kind of where I got to with it. Has to be on a unicorn for counter charge. Cool. Yeah, that's fine, because we want to put it on a unicorn, because the unicorn actually gives you some level of defense. It's only +1 wound, but it gives you something. Oh, and it gives you Armored Hide 1, which is super fine. And we just don't have an inbuilt ward save as well, so this is so squishy. And it's 315 points. This doesn't feel good. This feels too risky. But if we just go up, you're giving the unit -1 to be hit, which is nice. And you can cast your own line of sight blocker with the Conway Crystal, although it's unreliable and your opponent has a chance to dispel it, so that's not great. But it does protect you against some inbound fire. 27 points per model is so pricey for what you get as a T3 save, a T3 5-up save model. But they do hit hard. The steeds have 1 attack at strength 4, or just 1 attack at strength 4. That's not exciting. So high magic would get them to 2 attacks at strength 4, and it would get the Wild Rider to 4 attacks at strength 5 AP2. That's kind of underwhelming, honestly. Yeah. Like, +1 attack is not what the Wild Riders need. They need more strength and AP, more than anything. Or, like, rerolls to hit or something like that. Hatred or, basically, Dark or Demonology would really buff these. And that's what they're lacking right now. So, yeah. I'm not feeling the Wild Riders. So let's just leave those for now. Let's have a look at what Warhawk Riders. Do we just sandbag the Brett matchup and accept that if we come into Brett's, we just lose? That feels terrible. That does feel terrible. Wild Riders don't need more attacks. Yeah, 100%. So, Warhawks can take shooting, which is inefficient, because they're a 46 point per model with Hagbane tips. They're just not good. They're just not good enough. You've got 2 attacks at strength 4 AP2, and you've got 1 attack at strength 4 AP1 on the charge. It just doesn't do enough to get you there. And it's also on a 50 mil base, which is so big. You hate Wild Riders. Think of the Elf matchup. Park Dragon in charge range, kill the screen, collect 3 points. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Frenzy. Like, it's too easy to bait people. I feel like maybe a very good player can control them, but then you're just relying on the screening units not dying, which is concerning to me. So we're kind of leaving. The problem is we're leaving Warhawk Riders because of Bretonnians. We're leaving Wild Riders because of Frenzy. Sister of the Thorn, like, what do they bring? They just don't have much. Because I don't believe you can actually change into the signature spell of each of these, which is a problem. I am playing music in the background. Is it at a reasonable volume? Trying to have some background volume. The stream I did last week, I found a copyright-free playlist and put it on, and then it wasn't actually copyright-free, which was very sad. Vanguard banner is good for Wild Riders. Turn them around if they have a bad matchup. True. It's hard to argue with. I feel like if we're going something that's like squishy and hard-hitting, I'm more willing to put points into War Dancers. Even though they're a lot less fast, that is good to an extent. And also they're more controllable. Because this is a unit I'd love to put Fury of Cain on. But again, it's hard to do because Fury of Cain is unit... Oh no, it's range 12. It's Walk Between Worlds. So I think we're just kind of looking at a regular caster, and it's what flavor you want to have them on, right? If we're looking at the mages, I kind of just feel like you're going Elementalism or Battle Magic. Or Illusion if you want to really lean into the control. Sisters can march and shoot quick shots. Bad, but not bad enough. Yeah, that's true. Wild Riders feel like a decent pick against Horde armies. The problem is, I think if you're a decent player, if you're a good player, let's say, you'll go to an event and you kind of just win 3 games based on player skill as opposed to matchup, unless you get like a really bad matchup, like you're taking loads of Warhawk Riders and they've got Bretonnians. And then it's the 2 games where the matchup and the skill really matters. And in those games, the frenzy's really going to hurt you because a good player should be able to just bait you out. And I feel like it's a real issue with that. Yeah, no worries, Jonas. Not always happy to answer questions. I feel like you're going to go through the entire army and find no good units. I feel like Entropy, I'm going to go through the entire army and find no additional good units. That is the risk. War Dancers are not going to die to conventional shooting, at least. Illusion, if you go Dragon. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see Illusion plus Dragon doing some work there. Cool. Well, let's move on here, because we kind of know what we're doing. Let's have a look at the characters. I feel like the characters are the spicy bit. I know we're taking ages on them, but this is the sort of stuff that will shape the army more than anything else. Shadow Dancers. We looked at them when we looked at the magic weapons, but I'm interested that with the Shadow Dancers. When is the woods dispelled? It would be in your opponent's command phase. So before it matters. Being on the other side of it, limping through archers until you fight War Dancers felt painful. Yeah, so there's probably a world where you take units of War Dancers and maybe Shadow Dancers to back them up, and you have like a close melee punch, and you have basically 3 units of Deepwood Scouts to shoot, and then like the 1 unit of Glade Guard that you have to take, and maybe a unit of Glade Riders with attached characters, and you just kind of pelt your opponent from long range with poison and magic, and then when they get close you go, cool, now it's time for me to War Dancer / Shadow Dancer you. So the Shadow Dancer has evasive. Does the War Dancer unit have evasive as well? Yes. Okay. So you can play around your woods. That's pretty good. So your unit gets, just to refresh myself, AP2, +1 attack, 4 board save in melee, and -1 to hit. And that stacks really nicely with the -1 to hit from the Shadow Dancer, but you shouldn't need it really. Motley Crew. Interesting that you can change them up. I don't think I'd want to. And you can't change the armor save to a meaningful level, so I don't think there's anything to abuse here with Motley Crew. Skirmishes, strikes first is good. The 6-up save from Talismanic Tattoos. I feel like War Dancers are a unit that I want to play around with. That's kind of the big thing that I test out. Are War Dancers good? I kind of assumed they weren't. Alright, sorry, I've just gone away from this. So let's go back to them. So if you look at the stat line, you've got 1 attack becoming 2 attacks for the additional hand weapon, and they've got 3 attacks for Furious Charge, assuming you get the charge, which hopefully you will, because you're a slippery unit. I know you don't have the biggest move, but you are slippery, and you kind of hold them back until the late game. And then you go 3 attacks, Strength 3, AP 2, and the AP is poor, but the volume plus the AP hopefully does enough, and then you have the attached Shadow Dancer to do work. Due to the lack of AP, is it not better to take Treekin for Counterpunch? I'm wondering about that. The problem with that is they're very immobile, whereas War Dancers can get away from stuff. Treekin are kind of just there. Although if you combo it with an Elementalism caster, you can probably get them out of there. So maybe just like an Anvil of Treekin is something worth looking at. Shadow Dancers, 85 points. I've just gone away from them, god damn it. So War Dancers are 16 or 17 points a model. So if I just open up a calculator, that way I won't forget myself. So base, you're looking at 17 times 5, so you've got what? 85 points base, although probably spending a little bit more. And then you've got 95 points for the Shadow Dancer as well. 85 plus 85. So 170 points for a unit with some decent melee output is not awful. And then obviously you want to... I think you go the Trickster's Blades, because of the extra attacks. Is that wrong? Spear of Leok is Strength 5, AP 1, which becomes Strength 5, AP 3. But it's only 4 attacks. The Trickster's Blades becomes, on average, 6 attacks at Strength 4, AP 2. Razor Stand can help, and a Shadow Dancer doing the heavy lifting. Yeah, I don't know that I want to put like an expensive magic banner on them. I feel like I probably don't want to put command on them at all. So the question is a level 1 wizard worthwhile? And I almost wonder if it is, because you go illusion, right? and you take glittering robes, so you give them an additional -1 to be hit, and that gives them some decent level of defense. You do need to roll a 7 to get it off, but you do it before you move, so you know where you can go. Spear has killing blow, seems good. It's not like that many attacks though. Although they are going to be going into infantry. I don't know that the killing blow matters much, because like, the rest of the stats don't really matter if you're looking at the killing blow, and I don't know that I love killing blow on a 4 attack model. Spear, you can pump 5. Oh, with the +1 attack. Yeah, but then the rest of the unit gets +1 attack. So then you've got 4 attacks with strength 3, no AP, which does not spark joy. I'm more interested in the AP2, I think. Or I would assume, anyway. There is a magic item that they can go with, but also, are there any other magic weapons that we should be giving this fucker? Like, a giant blade might be good here, because that gets you to strength 5, AP 2, armor bane 2, 2 damage. But I guess it depends what you're sending them into. Spear always. The crowd has spoken, and they say spears. That's interesting, because I'm going to have to sit down and do some maths, which is not like a stream activity, because I don't think you want to see me fill out Excel sheets. And if you do, you're as sad as me. Which is fair enough, I respect it. So, okay, let's just call it Spear for now. But how do we feel about Giant's Blade? For 30 points. Like, this is one of the few times that I look at it and go, actually, yeah, I kind of fuck with this. Dragon Slaying Sword. Do we want Dragon Slaying Sword? Maybe not, because it's so hard to get it where we want it to, right? Spreadsheet enthusiast. Give us an ASMR stream if you do maths. Ever since I talked about it on stream, I'm now thinking that maybe I do want to do the full ASMR, just read through the rulebook to be released, just like an 8-hour video on April Fool's Day. God, that's so close as well. I probably shouldn't commit to that. Headsman's Axe, which is just a worse version of the spear, so we don't want that. Dragon Slaying Sword is interesting, but I just don't think you get close enough to the dragon. So maybe not. And it also takes all of your points, so you don't get to reroll. Although you do hit on 3s. Spelling's Axe is interesting, because it gives you magic resist 2, but I feel like if you're doing that, just go to the Obsidian Lodestone and take the better weapon. Giant Blade, I kind of want Giant Blade to work. Like, I kind of fuck with Giant Blade. Not sure if that'd be a copyright strike for full book. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it would be. Could maybe argue it's transformative. Only 8 hours to read through the rulebook. That's a guess. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Sword of Swiftness, no. Berserker Blade, God no. Sword of Might, absolutely not. Biting Blade. Biting Blade's interesting, because you can get Strength 4 AP 4, Armor Bane 1. That's interesting. Or you could get up to an attack, but I think that's just worse, right? You're better off just taking the 2-hand weapons, getting plus D3 attacks, and then taking the AP2. That's probably going to be better in all cases. So, if we just go back to this, let's get rid of you. But we mess around with an Illusion Caster level 1 with Giant Blade. I don't think there's anything else that we need. We're Leadership 8. Hold on. Hold on now. Oh no, we can't take armor. Didn't you just do a stream talking about the best Ogre Blade magic weapons? I did, but you can only take 50 points of weaponry, unfortunately. I just had a thought, like, what if we put the incredible... where's it gone? It'd be so good if you could give him Helm of the Hunt, but you can't because it's not a weapon. You can't take armor, so that is a bummer. Hey, Hamsfan became a member. Thank you, Hamsfan. Good to have you. I will see if I can find you. If you're on Discord, make sure to ping me in the Needs Roll channel. That way, I will apply your role. You'll be able to see the VIP sections. Appreciate you. Is there anything else in here that... Mercy's Locus is maybe interesting. But if you're getting hit back, you're just dying anyway, right? So that's no good. And a Power Scroll. Oh, Power Scroll does slap cores. I respect that. I played against someone at LGT who ran a unit of Waystalkers or War Dancers with a Power Scroll Illusion Caster in there. I respected it. I think he used them too offensively, though, because I was able to pick them up. I mean, my sorts of lists can get around those models, so it's not too bad. Yeah, there's nothing else in here that's super spicy for them. So I do like the concept of a Giant Blade Illusion Caster with also taking Power Scroll. And then Sprites. Is there anything in Sprites that we want to put on this character that really makes a difference? Magical attacks aren't needed. Although giving a unit magical attacks is not awful. Challenge -1 to hit. Weapon skill 8. Realistically, anything in a challenge is hitting you on 4s, so that doesn't do that much because it's so squishy. It's just gonna die. Do we want the extra attacks? I don't think so. Even at 25 points, D3 strength 2 hits. Wait, what's the wording on the War Dancer rule? They perform the same dance. The armor, so it's specifically if the unit's weapons, extra attacks, ward save. Yeah, so we can't cheese the sprites because even if we look at them here, yeah, it's auto hits. It's not a weapon, so that we can't cheese that and get in a combination of it. Annoyance and Netlings is good, but we're going to use it on something else. Giving them terror is interesting, but I don't think it's good. -1 weapon skill initiative. Because we're only weapon skill 8, I don't think it makes a difference. Only weapon skill 8. Yeah, I think it's just the sort of naked Shadow Dancer here where we go Giant's Blade, Power Scroll, and we don't go anything else. At which point we're taking a unit of War Dancers to put in there. Musician is good, although we're immune to Psychology, so we can't have a runaway deliberately, anyway. We're going additional hand weapons. This feels like a decent combo, but it is pretty pricey. We're looking at the better part of 300 points. Let's just put in the stuff that we know we're going to be taking. So for me, we're taking the Longbow, we're taking the Great Stag, we're taking the... I really like the Bedazzling Helm build. And then we combo it with a Befuddlement of Mischiefs. Nope, that's wrong. No, that's right. Yeah, that's correct. And then we go for the Glade Captain with the Great Weapon, Stag, and I like to give this one the Helm of the Hunt. This is really nice. It's the one that gives you +1 to your weapon skill and attacks on the charge. So you're still, you know, weapon skill 7 and 4 attacks. And then we give this one -1 to be hit in a challenge as well. And that way both of them are -1 to be hit when challenged, and this one's also giving -1 weapon skill, so I'm likely hitting you on 3s, which is nice. And also if your weapon skill 4, you're suddenly hitting me on 6s. Which sucks to suck. Makes them pretty tanky. Then we still need to put the level 2 caster in. A level 4 caster even, so we're just going Steed. And we're probably just going to go Oaken Stave. And Ruby Ring of Ruin. Okay, and we still have points available, so this feels fine. I don't know if it feels efficient, but it feels fine. How much murder can you put out with the Plague of Rust in addition to the Giant Blade? That is true. We can't take... yeah. Surely you add Luminescence on the Lord. That's correct, you do add Luminescence on the Lord. Thank you for reminding me. The only reason that we might not, and it's not why, I just forgot to put it on. If I was trying to put a second Shadow Dancer in, I could maybe see Luminescence on the Shadow Dancer and have a unit with magical attacks in case that matters. In some cases it will. It rarely will, but when you can, it'll matter. We've got to take 5 Glade Guard with the High Bane Tips. So the rest of the... if we're taking this, I mean, we're just writing the same list, which is so frustrating. Because we're just doing the same thing, but worse. I guess having an efficient core is not the end of the world. It doesn't upset me too much. We've got those already. Deepwood Scouts. Going to go 8 of them with Musician and Hagbane Tips. 2 units of those. We give you a Musician and we give you a Champion, 503 points. So this is fine, and even with the Shadow Dancer and the War Dancers, we're still sat at 470 points, so we need something to put in. I don't mind a reserve move bus to put the Glade Lord in. At which point, Glade Riders are... How many points are Glade Riders? Because this might be where that unit of Sister of the Thorn come in. Just because at 24 points versus 18, oh, that is a big difference in points. Do we just roll one spell? There's so many bad spells in both laws. Like, it's like a 50-50 for what you want, right? For both. Oh, hold on. I know what I've forgotten to do. Glade Lord, need to give him the Talisman of Protection. There we go. That feels wrong not to, you know. There we go. So this is... Do we put a unit assist the Thorn in as like a... Banner of the Hunter King. And this is the Vanguard unit that gets you up the board. This isn't terrible. I kind of... If I'm going for the sort of like melee list, I kind of want to see a second Shadow Dancer and a second unit of War Dancers, because I feel like having one just isn't enough. So let's duplicate this, and we're going to have to make some cuts, because we're way over on points. Is this just like super inefficient, the Giant Blade Power Scroll? I think it is. So, do we drop the Illusion Caster entirely? I kind of like the Illusion Caster angle of it. Power Scroll goes, because that's surplus to requirements. It would be nice to have, but... I really want to go Trickster's Blades, and this could be wrong, but it just to me feels like it's the right choice. So if we drop the Wizard... Do they do enough if we just don't have the Wizard? Yeah, maybe. Let's have a look at the Blades of Leok again. 45 points. We get the extra attacks, and we just get reroll failed to wounds. I mean, that's not awful. That's not terrible. And we've got 51 points available, so maybe we play around with that. Rerolling wounds. Hold on. So what's the maths on this? If we go... let's just very quickly scribble this down. So on average, on the charge, if you've got the blades, you've got 6 attacks average. Blades, magic blades, spear, and then giant's blade. I'd love to be able to spell. So we've got, we're going 4 plus 2, yeah, so we're going 6, 6, 4, and then 4. Hits are the same, so we're not going to bother working those out. What are we timesing it by? Are we assuming T4, right, so times 0.5. But then here would be 0.66. And it's only plus 1 strength, right, so if we just do that as well. So by the time we're factoring in the strength against T4, we're not far off. I literally said if you want to watch me do spreadsheets, that's really boring. And now I'm sat here. So what if I just go like this? This is T3. This is T5. I mean, what really matters is the save, but the AP, you can get reasonable AP. Caddy a couple of strength potions. That is an interesting thought. I think we were talking about that on the stream previously as well, right? Oh, fuck's sake, I haven't... Oh, it's easier just to fix it this way. H8. And then this was 0.66. So then this one would be 0.66. And this would be 0.83. And then over here, we're looking at... Just do the same. God damn it. Sure. But this is by 0.3, and this is the same. And then this is by 5, so that's correct, because you're strength 5. How much heavy lifting does your unit do? It's kind of just there to... The way that I envision this unit working is it's there to pick up anything that comes at you after you've done as much shooting as possible. So we probably want to put more shooting in realistically. At which point we probably drop... I think we just drop the Sister of the Thorn. I don't think they bring enough. So let's put in another unit of Deepwood Scouts. We're going for the 8s. This gets us pretty close. I kind of feel like you're right. I feel like Strength Potions might be better. Like Strength Potions with the Trickster's Blade, where you just got a volume of high strength attacks. They don't have Killing Blow, but they've got AP2. That feels like the best case scenario for me. So let's just put that in, and we can do that twice. Oh, I've just clicked the wrong thing. Strength Potions back up here. This is like a really stacked points-wise list. And I want to put in Way Watchers, but I just don't have 2 pots of 1 pot, 1 coin. Spreadsheets only fans, very good. So like the actual wounds that we're doing here, I'm not convinced that the blades are as good as I want them to be until we put the Strength Potion in. When we put the Strength Potion in, I think that makes the difference, right? And obviously Killing Blow is good. The Poin Cot combo threatens some lords. What does it threaten that's like in the game that we care about? The coin, you're hitting on 3s most of the time anyway, right? I don't feel like this really threatens the things that we care about threatening. So like a Chaos Lord, it might threaten, which we might strike at initiative because it strikes first. Go Spears with coin. So, yeah, a couple of you are saying this. The coin, we're hitting on 3s anyway, right? Obviously, rerolling is good. I'd rather have a way of rerolling wounds, but I don't think there is any way of doing that, so I don't think there's anything we can do for that. I'd be tempted to go Spirit Twilight, although I guess that's kind of nonsensical, right? Because if I value the Killing Blow, I can just take this weapon with Strength +1, AP -1, and Strength AP -2. It's the wound rolls that's kind of making the difference for me. There's no way to get rerolls to wound, is there? Maxing the number of hits, therefore increasing the chance of a 6. That's true. A reroll to hit is kind of a conditional reroll to wound, I guess. Not for the Killing Blow, but for the no armor save. I'll be friend of those with my cow if they have spears, necessarily. Yeah, there's no banner of extra attacks pot that I've just somehow missed. No, that would be nuts. I'd love to be able to take a character on a flying carpet and just yeet it around, but I don't see that being worthwhile because you lose all the attacks, which is a bummer. Okay, so if we go back to the list build screen, kind of feel like, is there a way that we want to put more shooting in? I mean, the obvious way to do it, for my money, would be to go for the Vanguard bus here with Hagbane tips. And then we just drop the Musician off the Glade Guard here. 1995. This gives us 6 Glade Riders that we can attach the Lord and the Captain to get them up the board, but then they can, after that, do some shooting. Oh, I'd love to give them Reserve Move. Reserve Move. I feel like that's capped to 1 per 1,000, is that right? 0 to 1 per 1,000, yeah. But the Chaos Lord with the blades and coin and strength pot, if you could pot. I mean, if you're going against the Lord, you're right, it is the spear. At which point, it probably just has to be the spear, right? As much as I hate the idea of that. So the question becomes, is 2 Shadow Dancers worthwhile? Because we're looking at 110 points each and 108 points. We're looking at, what, 218? So 220 points get to conditionally do some damage. Let's just consider dropping this. How big do you make your units tooled off? Do you go bigger than 6? 6 feels like it might be a little slow. Let's go up to 8 and just accept that we've got 1 unit. And then let's look at the Waystalker. So how many... Waystalker... It's in rare, isn't it? Waywatchers. So we're going... We want to go 8, and we want to make sure we're getting the use out of them. The Sentinel gives you +1 ballistic skill. Yes. What's the strength? It's only strength 3, right? And there's no way to buff that, which is annoying. And do we give them... I'd be tempted to give them Vanguard, honestly. And do we give them... Like, the problem is with a better ballistic skill, even though you're wounding worse, is there a world where we're looking at Arcane Bodkins because you're hitting a lot of the time? I just feel like there isn't. And we're just leaning on that. I feel like we're leaning on Plague of Rust, and we don't have a consistent way to get it with the Spellweaver. That really concerns me. And this obviously takes us way over points, but we can cut points from core. That's not a problem. I feel like the Waystalker isn't the way to go. I don't see that being good enough. Unfortunately, that means we have to take the cut those in rare. Is there a world where we can get in a level 2 with Lore Familiar? That would make me feel a lot more comfortable. But it's so expensive to do that. Level 2 with Lore Familiar. What do we have to cut to get there? 43 points. So on this, we've got Great Weapon, Shield, Free Bow, Stag, Bedazzling Helm, Talisman Protection. I don't want to cut points there. This is as cheap as it gets. Unless I cut some of these sprites, which I don't think is good. The Shadow Dancer is kind of the thing messing this up. And then there's the Oaken Stave, Ruby Ring of Ruin, level 4. We don't even know which lore we're going here. I don't think I can cut points on this. This is difficult to squeeze in. I'm not really sure how I want to build it. Did I consider running Tree Singing as a poor man's Column of Crystal? Yeah, so the level 4 with Oaken Stave will be running Tree Singing. The problem is you only need to roll an 8 to dispel it, so even if you're not in range, you probably do. Or, like, you've got a chance to if you're not in range. If you are in range, you only need to roll a 5, so that's really not a problem to deal with. What does this look like if we drop? So let's say we drop the Resplendent of Luminescence. And then here, I think we need the Annoyance of Netlings. I don't want to drop the Befuddlement of Mischiefs, but maybe we can get away with doing that. Because that's weapon skill and initiative. It means that we're hitting them on 3s. Drop the ring. I feel like you can't drop the ring in this list because it's all about the incidental damage, right? So you're doing as much shooting as possible here. You're doing some more shooting here. You've got one unit that's melee, and you've got a couple of units here that are melee. But a lot of your damage comes from the range damage, so having the Ruby Ring really tips you over. I don't think we can drop Ruby Ring. I think, for me, I'd be... Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. We can drop the Bedazzling Helm, go Armor of Destiny, and then let's be cheeky and drop the Annoyance of Netlings. Oh, I was going to put it on here. God damn. Because that still leaves us over. 13 points over. We've got a -1 to hit in a challenge here on the Great Glade Lord, because you want the Lord to be survivable. We've got the 4 up ward save. We've got the 2 up armor save, 4 up ward save, and -1 to hit in a challenge. This is really good. This chap... Oh, he doesn't even have a shield, so he needs the shield. So we're 15 points over. Potion of Strength. Do we just have to drop the Potion of Strength? That might be the way forwards. Because here we've got the level 2. Oh, but then we're taking a level 2 with Tala's Lore Familiar, and no. We're not even taking the bloody Power Scroll. Plague of Rust is a 9, so we're not getting it off a lot of the time as well. What would we be going for? Wind Blast, probably, and Plague of Rust. Those are the two obvious ones. I don't know. I think we have to drop the ring and then drop the Shadow Dancer. Yeah, I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too. I mean, if you're just going for the killing blow, does that just sort of, in itself, be the problem for the Lord? Because you've got 4 attacks in the charge, weapon skill 8, strikes first, so you're hitting on 3s, and you're just fishing for those 6s. The potion strength doesn't actually make a difference there, if you're using it in that way. And you've got a good volume of attacks from the squad to theoretically punch up. Oh god, we're missing 2 hand weapons as well. So we put the Resplendence back on. Does this kind of cut the mustard? Got a level 2 with a Lore Familiar. We've got a level 4 with the Oaken Stave and Ruin. They're both attached to the unit of 8 Glade Riders. We've got the Lord, who is 2 up, 4 up with -1 to hit in a challenge and magical attacks. And then we've got the Glade Captain, who's a 2 up save, no other output, but good in combat. Trying to do something interesting instead of Stags, Dragons, and Poison Bone. Just trying to write the best Wood Elf list. I don't think it's the dragon. I'm a dragon denier, so we're trying to find what to fill the rest of the points with. This is 1,000 points, but it makes the Shadow cut the Glade Captain. You know what we could do? That's fair. That is fair. That leaves us quite a lot of points, at which point we can do the Shadow Dancer. And at that point, do we just go for the second Shadow Dancer as well? So, what are we talking about? Potion of Strength. 2 of these. And at that point, do we just go for the full... Do we drop the Resplendence and go for the Befuddlement? No. Although I would like to go back for the Bedazzling Helm and the Talisman of Protection. Oh, we had Talisman of Protection on before. God damn it. No wonder everything was so expensive. Alright, anyway, we'll play around with this. So we've got double Potion of Strength. And we've got 51 points available. We give the level 2 the Power Scroll. Cool. Double Dancer unit should get a hard carry. If you're a double Dancer unit, should get a hard carry. As in, like, you want them to do something, I guess. We also need to decide what lore we're going with. I kind of feel like the amount of poison shooting we're putting in, we want to go Elementalism. And then we go Elementalism here as well for Plague of Rust. The output is a lot worse. Oh, this makes me a little nervous. The dancers will win the combat for you. So you're saying that I should lean into the spear? I think that's what you're saying. And I think what we're doing here is we're going like 2 units of 6. You're saying dancers multiple times. Got Armor of Destiny and a Talisman of Protection. Yes, I have fixed that one now. Thank you, though, Michael. I did absolutely have that. So do we go a 7th guy here? That kind of makes the points fucky. I feel like I probably want Blade Singers if we're going for the unit champions. Going to have the Shadow Dancers attached. At which point do we tweak anyone else? Oh, we need to tweak the number of hand weapons. Slightly annoying that this doesn't automatically do it. So that's 83. Where do we want to squeeze an extra model in? Or we've got 31 points here that we could potentially put in. Is there anything else? I mean, we could give one just the talisman of the Paymaster's coin, right? Oh no, I'm bad at maths. Oh no. You're saying 2 Shadow Dancers have enough damage to kill most fighting ranks. Yeah, I mean, I'd be going 2 different units here. Although, I mean, that's probably too many points at a squishy unit to put them both into the same unit. That feels not right to me. Potion of Strength here. Or maybe we just go one with Trickster's Blade and no potion. And we just go for volume of attacks. And then we go this one with the Spear and the Paymaster's Coin. No. Sorry, brain. So we go Paymaster's Coin on the Spear of Leok, and we're going to use that to try and assassinate people. And then we go into Trickster's Blades, and we're giving them a Potion of Strength. That makes sense to me. Cool. And then we haven't been inefficient with any of our choices otherwise. No, I don't think so. Hey, Midlife Dice, welcome to the club. Glad to have you. Again, if you're on the Discord, ping me in the needs roll and I will apply your roll for you. Invest in the hotly FAQ'd Wizarding Hat. A single item with 3 FAQs must be incredibly powerful. Level 1 WoW magic caster could be goated. We're even on the page. I understand this is not a serious comment. I also understand that maybe we should look at it. So, signature spells, right? What are we thinking? Signature spells. So, not Fist of Gork, by any chance. Not the Dwellers Below. Glittering Robe is fine, but also you can get that on the caster anyway. Drain Magic, no. Stormcall, no. Doombolt, no. Summoning, maybe. Hammerhand, no. Magic items feel like they're Empire level at times. I don't think that's fair to say, because if let's go through, let's just have a quick look. In terms of magic items, the spear has a build around, but I don't like it. So the weapons are bad. The weapons are objectively bad. Helm of the Hunt is really good. +1 weapon skill attacks and armor save is really nice. A conditional ward save is kind of whatever. Do I know how to launch Warhol in a window? I don't know. You might have to play it in... You can go to the website and just play it through the website. That might be the best case for you if that's something you're struggling with. Banner, we've got a Vanguard banner, which is good. Ignores cover is funny, but sometimes necessary. Fear and Terror is whatever. And then the Oaken Stave is brokenly good. And now I'm now going to defend the Wood Elves. So on the side of the Wood Elves, what I'd say is you actually have incredibly good magic items from your Arcane Journal. So as soon as Wood Elves get some more magic items, then we can start complaining about Empire again. But I think right now they're pretty okay. So I don't think the hat does anything. I don't think it gets us to the point where we want to take like Hammerhand as level 1. Although I think you can take it... Hold on, what's the wording on it? If you take it as a level 1 wizard already, I don't think you get to double up on spells. I don't think you're a level 1 wizard twice. I think you just become a level 1 wizard. Yeah, you just become a level 1 wizard anyway. So this feels fine. This feels like a list that I should test. The goal of the list that I'm putting together is I will be playtesting it, and Thursday's video I think will probably be a Warhol bat rep on it. I just like I hate when you get to this sort of points because elves are so expensive that you don't feel like you can put one model in. Is there anything we're missing? We've got... I'd love the double stag back, but maybe we just go 1 stag because we're going double Shadow Dancer. Hey, fantastic. Glad to hear it, Midlife Dice. Oh, sorry to hear about the 3 Insta Sisters. It is always a case of just before you buy them, that's when they get nerfed. Or just after you buy them, I should say. Maybe we go Arcane Bodkins here. And we give the level 4... where have you gone? Iendi's Bane. It's just a strength to use a magic weapon. I could see that. Yeah, that feels fine, because this unit's going to be reserve moving from behind cover. My only worry is that even, like, dry rolling elementalism, there's just not enough damage. So maybe we go Battle Magic with this caster, and then the Spell Singer we go Plague of Rust. And Wind Blast. Yeah, this feels... I'm more comfortable with this. And then we've got double Shadow Dancer, which is so funny, because I have such a low opinion of them, having played against them. But I think maybe I just need to play better, and use terrain better, and really try and force my opponents coming in. So how much shooting have we got? We've got 8, 16, 24, 32, 38, 43, 43, 43 poison shots. You think the ethereal poison brick isn't worth the concept? Oh, I'd forgot about that. Let's see what that looks like. Let's write that list as well. Pivoting to a second stag if the Shadow Dancer aren't great is fairly easy. It's actually a bit difficult, and I like it more, Callum, but the problem is we're really capped on character points, and 110, like it comes at about 180 points for the captain on stag. So finding the points, you have to cut in here, which is a little bit difficult. How many points for the shooting? That is the problem, isn't it? So let's point it out. So what we do lose is we lose, I think, realistically, the level 4 caster. Oh, this is risky. So the reason I say this is risky is because for this to work, you have to have TMP. Like, TMP is a non-negotiable. So this is a weird song to have in the background. So we're going with a level 4, and the level 4 is on foot because they're going to be joining the unit, and they are going to have Lore Familiar, and they're going to go Elementalism. And this is kind of a non-negotiable in my eyes. So at that point, we'll also give them the Ruby Ring of Ruin and Power Scroll, because these are things that I want in the list. Brian, no worries. We're still going to be around for another 20-so minutes or something like that. But if you've missed it, you can always join the Discord, and I will ping when I'm going live to notify you. Oh, a bit of drum and bass in the background. You might not think it from looking at me, but I am a fan of a good bit of drum and bass. Good background music. Yeah, so the second level 4 isn't a general, but we want the high magic. So we're getting rid of the Ruby Ring of Ruin, we're getting rid of the Lore Familiar. He did the streamer thing. Yes, speaking of the streamer thing, if you haven't already, and most of you have, do feel free to like the video. Always good to have more people have their eyes on the channel. So the problem with the poison shooting brick with Ethereal is I think you have to go high magic, because if you're putting that many points into it, I don't think you can afford to have it not TMP. Get you some DJ Shadow. DJ Shadow's good, but also would probably be copyrighted, whereas this is a specifically copyright-free playlist. So we're looking at the... Oh, I don't know why I'm going... Yeah, here we go. So Glade Guard, how many are we going? I feel like... Oh god, 60 is so many points. I guess we give them the Vanguard banner. Is there anything else we want to give them? +1 combat res. Ignores cover. Fear and terror. I mean, having them cause fear is not nothing. We can Vanguard them, though, which is nice. Although it is 60 points to Vanguard them, so let's just take it from the banner. Raise a banner. I mean, that feels counterproductive, right? Because we're fishing for the poison shooting. So we're going to be getting very few 6s to wound, because that is counterproductive. Yeah, I just don't think we're going to get that many 6s to wound. Like, most of our damage is going to come from the poison, right? This is so expensive. And there's no way to defend it as well. Like, why would else need to be in a blob when they don't get to huddle around one magic item to get the poison shots? Yeah, I mean, so the concept is you take them with high magic, and you give them Walk Between Worlds, so they get Ethereal and Reserve move. That's the plan. You feel the brick like this, you just cry out, please hit me with every template. Yeah, you are, although the Ethereal does defend you against that to an extent. I feel like for this, we just want to go... probably 3 power scrolls? We really don't want to risk not getting the spell off. Ignore cover sounds better for poison. That's true. That's a good shout. That's a really good shout, actually. Although what we might do is put a BSB in there, right? BSB with the Banner of Midsummer's Eve. And we'd also give them the Resplendent Luminescence. So it's magical attacks as well. And then I guess we just go... We probably still put them on a great stack so they don't die. And we'll give them Talisman of Protection and a shield and a Sword of Might, so they might do something. And that can always be changed. Got a free longbow. They may as well have the poison shot as well, otherwise I will get... Yeah. This feels really hard to build around. Like, look at what we've got in the list. We've got 60 models, which die as soon as they're looked at. 120 shots they hit on 4s, but wound on 6s with AP3. No, I can't see Swift Shiver Shards being good, right? Because multi-shots too, so realistically, you're going to be shooting at some penalty already. So it's going from 4s to 5s probably with these, which means that instead of having from 6s, instead of having 30 hits, you would have what's 5s on 120, a third of them. So you'd have 40 hits, so barely anything. Only level leadership 8 on the general. Yeah, there'd be a BSB as well. Long range is 5, close is 4. Deepwood Scouts, are they? They're not, are they? I was just wondering if they were. No. I just can't see this list working. Because I think the Elementalism caster having TMP is non-negotiable. Because if you get caught, it's just game over. Even if you have Ethereal, you just get run over by something that can deal with you. Reserve move on the blob is wild. You can probably set up volley fire on every turn. Yeah, but then your opponent gets to respond to you. What's the save on a dragon again? Good, but you've got the Elementalism for a TMP. So usually 3 for a dragon's armor save, but sometimes it is... sometimes it's a 2-up. So you definitely need the Plague of Rust in the Spellweaver as well. I don't know, this just... I don't know how this works. This feels too much investment. And also these 2 characters in the front don't have a bow, which annoys me. And even if you buy them one, you can't give them a poison shot. Yeah, I don't think the brick is good. Oh, I tell you what we can do, though. On the violence list, let's just duplicate this. And we'll go... Tree violence. Because we're considering taking level 2 anyway, right? With Elementalism and a power scroll. So what if we drop one of these... And we drop the War Dancer. And we maybe drop the Glade Riders as well, because we're not going for a second... Like, if we've only got 1 Lord, I don't know about having them be followed around. If 2 Dragon Ogres get into that unit, it's GG. Oh god, yeah. Ensorcelled weapons. Oh. So if we go back to this list, what if we go with, like, an actual brick of Treekin? And we're planning to give them the ward save. The main reason to play them is they don't play by most of the rules that other armies play by. Trying to fill them in a normal army usually yields poor experience in my experience. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I do kind of like this T5 unit with triple save, though, if you give them a ward save. Thirsty to field a Brick of Eternal Guard. Yeah, maybe they'll be playable when we get round to the Arcane Journal. I don't know what they'd need to do to make them good, but yeah, maybe. So this would give us a lot of points to play with. I don't think I want a second unit of Treekin, but if we're going for a... do we want to go for like 6? If we're going... I don't know, maybe we go 5 Treekin. And then is there anything else that we want to fit in? I mean, at this point, if we're going for this, I kind of feel like we buff the War Dancers back up to 8. And we go for the level 1 Shadow Dancer. And we give them a... Potion of Strength. Or do we give them a Power Scroll? Let's give them a Power Scroll. Let's all in on being hard to deal with. And that gives us still a few points left that we can spend. Is there anything that we want to go into? Like, I just wish I could take 5-way watches. I know I'd have to play around with the points, but... a single eagle probably doesn't do anything. Give him illusion of power skill. Yeah. Give the signature. Yeah, that's like aggressively fine. I guess we just go slightly more in the Glade Guard. 2001. That's annoying. Maybe just lose the musician on that. Yeah, like this is a list we could go for with tree violence, which I don't know that I love. Although this unit can be TMP'd out, so it's not the end of the world. Remind myself, tree whack. It's an initiative test, right? And then it's strength. So tree whack isn't going to do much into a dragon. So it's probably worth taking the elder. Got an armor about a question about armor stacking. Go ahead. I feel like this list is the one that I want to playtest. I was under the impression that the armor on a mount doesn't stack with the armor of the character, but you just use the better of the two. But do they actually stack? So armor doesn't stack. Your armored hide stacks. It's like barding. So armored hide on a mount is added to a character. So in this case, we've got heavy armor here from. Oh, sorry, we've got light armor. We've got a shield, so that's a 5-up. We've got a 4-up from Bedazzling Helm, and then because of the armored hide 2. That adds, it's not the armoured equipment. If it had heavy armour, it wouldn't stack, but because it's armoured hide 2, that adds to the 4-up to give us a 2-up overall. An all tree list looks fun, can put 4 toughness 6 trees on the table potentially. Chris, if you want to see how that goes, I played a game into a toned down Beastman list not too long ago. I think it was not last week, but the week before, if I remember correctly. It'll be in the live chat. There was a live game that we had. Ballistic Missile, Glade Lord, and Strag is even more rude than before. Yeah, that's what makes them good. I think if you want to have those solo characters that fly around and do a lot of damage, they need to have a 2-up save to be survivable, realistically. Treekin can do good, just don't expect them to kill anything. Yeah, I feel like if we're going into Elementalism and we've got the Plague of Rust, they can hit okay. Because they're weapon skill 4 and strength 4, which is fine. Helm and Lance would be an easy and decent build. Yeah, I mean, I like Great Weapon. Lances are cool, but great weapons are lances in multiple rounds of combat, and you only lose the save in combat where you're striking first anyway. So if you don't kill the thing that you needed to kill, maybe pick your fight better. Helm of the Hunt and an extra item on the Glade Lord of Stag and call it good. I mean, to be fair, because I've dropped the Stag Captain, let's tweak this. We'll tweak and we'll go the Helm of the Hunt. Normally I don't go Helm of the Hunt because I want to put on a captain, so I have 2. So this would get me up to 5 attacks at weapon skill 8, which is very good. At which point we'll drop that, go for the Befuddlement, and we'll just drop something. This list doesn't need the Glade Riders. This list can drop the Glade Riders. And they can go... How do we tweak this? So we've got the 2 Shadow Dancers. Let's buff them both up, I think. And then I need a little bit more. I don't like going above 8. But I'm going to have to. 8's here. I wonder if 8's are limiting me at all in the list. Strength 5 and Initiative 10 is decent at anything. I think... Yeah, so I think give the Great Weapon a try, Brian. I'm a big fan of the Great Weapon. Is there a place for an Armor of Destiny on his lowest stag? Yeah, I've definitely tried it. Midlife. So the 4-ups ward is better against stomps, so you can throw the Lord in against an enemy dragon and have him survive a little bit longer. But then you're more likely to die to the attacks. One combo I quite like is the full Annoyance and Befuddlement, and then you give them the Talisman of Protection and also the Bedazzling Helm, so that you're being hit on 6s by dragons and lords. And then it's just like, if your opponent rolls a 1 on the stomps there, you're like, oh, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. Good luck. Yeah. Like, strikes first, strike last, cancelling out just feels really good. I feel like I've just got an awkward amount of points here that I don't love. I really don't love the amount of points that we've got, because I don't think there's anything that I can comfortably do with them, is there? Like, again, a Great Eagle, in theory, sounds good, but it's like the squishy target. How many Glaive Guard? So Glaive Guard, I've got 8. Maybe we just go 2 units of 5. That doesn't feel good, but it's slightly better. Every time you build a Wood Elf list, yeah. 2 units of 5 is fine. What if we drop the musicians and go a unit 6 with musician and a unit 5 without? This is fine. Like, this is just minutia. I don't actually care too much about the core. 2 plus 5 up and bedazzling is better than 2 up 4 up with bedazzling. Yeah, I like the 2 up 5 up bedazzling more, but it's kind of like middle of the road, right? You look at 2 piles of 20 to 60 Glade Guard. 20 to 36. Do you mean the Glade Guard, or do you mean the Eternal Guard? Because Eternal Guard is something that we did kind of just skip over. If you're talking about big units of Glade Guard, I don't think that's the way to go. I'd rather go for multiple smaller units, because it's harder for your opponent to catch them. 1 board. Painted. Oh, you're saying you've got that many Glade Guard. So, Glade Guard, the Deepwood Scouts, they're the same models as the Glade Guard. You think building a battalion box might be too much. Yeah, that's fair. So, in the list, the Glade Guard models, because we're including the Deepwood Scouts, you've actually got 16, 24, 30, like, we're looking at 32 or so, because the Scouts are using the same models, so you actually get a lot of them. MSU is the way to go with most of the shooting. Yeah, Jackie was talking about the models that they own. So, that makes sense now. But yeah, I think this is fine, and having, like, these 2 units here, this is a lot of drops, so we're realistically never going first, but that does help with the amount of punch we've got. I almost feel like I want to go for the second stag instead of one of these Shadow Dancers, but right, instead of messing around with this, let's just go stag violence and work out what I need to cut to get to there. So if we're doing that, we have to go with realistically Bedazzling Helm. No, not Bedazzling Helm. Armor of Destincy. Because it's the cheapest build. We drop the Arcane Bodkins because it's surplus to requirements. We've got Great Weapon, Shield, Stag, Armor, and we're going to drop the Befuddlement, and we're just going to go super cheap. Oh no, we're not. We've got to go for the Befuddlement here. Okay. So we're going to drop... Oops. I've duplicated instead of dropping. So we're going to drop the Shadow Dancer. I think still having 1 Shadow Dancer, I'd like to keep Paymaster Coin if I can. Shadow Dancer with level 1 with Power Scroll and Lore Familiar with Spectral Doppelganger be viable. I think that's too spicy for my blood. It's so unlikely that you get it off realistically, even casting on 3d6. Because it's what, a 9 for Illusion? So on 3d6, I believe you would average a 9 on the dice, so a 10. But if you're in range of the opponent, they only need to roll a 7 to dispel, which is like 50% of the time. It's a fun thought, I just don't see it happening. So, yeah, we've got the Glade Lord here, who is General, Great Weapon, Light Armor, Shield, Longbow for free, Great Stag, Armor of Destiny, Befuddlement of the Mischiefs. We can maybe drop the Befuddlement of Mischiefs. Like, it's good, but maybe that doesn't make it in if we're trying to fit this in. 176 points. I think that's exactly what I need for the Glade Captain, honestly. Great Weapon, Shield, Bow for free, Great Stag. And we go Helm of the Hunt and Annoyance of Netlings. Oh no, we're over. Okay, at that point we'd have to drop the Paymaster's Coin, which makes the unit less effective. Oh, we can drop Ayendi's Bane. That's super surplus to requirements. So we've got 40 points remaining. Why have we got so many points remaining? Am I stupid? I think I am. Let's put the Paymaster's Coin back on. I think I must have been looking at this number instead of this number. So, Strength 7 hammer is about as subtle as a brick in a sock. Yeah, the strength is an issue. But we've got double great weapon here, which is nice. And then we've got the spear, which is killing blow in strength 5. And then we've got... Oh, I've still got Iendi's Bane. Oh, god damn it. I'm having a senior citizen moment. So I think I'm going to be 5 points over. Yep, there we go. That's the problem. That is the problem. This is difficult to puzzle through, honestly. 5 points too many is annoying. Is there anything we can drop here? Great weapon is needed. Light armor is needed. Shield is needed. Longbow is free. Great stag. Armor of destiny. This is the cheapest loadout to get you to a point that I'm happy with surviving. I'm not comfortable having my general be on a stag with no save. The fact that he's got no sprites is a little concerning already, but it is what it is. So then we've got the captain, who's got a great weapon, light armor, shield, stag, helm of the hunt, annoyance, and nettling. I feel like this is important because you're going to be going into challenges and you need some level of defensiveness when you haven't got a ward save. So it might just be that we drop the... going to lobby for dropping the ring. I just don't see it because this list is about winning by killing enough stuff, and I feel like the ruby ring is needed. What are we running Lore Familiar to guarantee? So Lore Familiar Power Scroll is for a super high value Plague of Rust, basically. Because we've got so much poison shooting, we are sometimes going to come up against armies that we need a turn where we put everything into them, and we go, cool, we're going to try and shut down that unit. So, pretty sure you only get it off 2/3 of the time unopposed on a Dispel. No, that's not true. Maybe it is true. So, cast on an 8, right? So you need it on a 6. Fuck, I only know the maths for 7 off the top of my head. So what are we talking? So you don't get it off on a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5. So we get it off 26 out of 36. So we get it off 72% of the time. So that's pretty good unopposed. And obviously because we're a fast unit and we've got reserve move, we can comfortably be shooting it outside of dispel range. I think a damage spell that you get off 72% of the time feels really good. I'm happy with that. Over the course of the game, that's what? You're going to get that off 4.5 times out of 6, right? So, times 4.5. Oh, well, hold on. So, 4.5 times 7. So we're averaging 31.5 hits, assuming you cast it every turn, which realistically I'm going to, because this unit's going to be reserve moving. So I feel like averaging 31.5 strength 4 hits over the course of a game is super worth 30 points. Especially when I've got the flexibility of like the Plague of Rust, and it's like the go turn as well. It's bad if you're being dispelled by level 4, but you're a Wood Elf. Damn right. Something like 30 hits per game. Yeah, 30 hits is so many. Like, if you look at my entire list, so what do we got on this version? 8, 16, obviously we're going to tweak it because we've dropped a Shadow Dancer, but 8, 16, 24, 32, 38. So, assuming that you're shooting at either long range or moved, because you're going to be doing at least one of those, like, I'm getting, on average, 6 poison shots, just over 6, and then 12 hits. So I think I really like having the average of 30 hits over the course of a game. We're going to drop this unit because we only need one of them. So, probably get away with 1 unit scouts with armor pen mud than poison owned. So I don't think so. On the basis of I don't think it's worth doing because I'm only ever going to be wounding on 5s, right? Because strength 3 is just bad. Could drop the bows off the Lord of Captain. I absolutely would, but they are free. So the only reason I've got them on is free. When I've played Double Stag, I found that I would shoot an average of like 3 shots between the 2 of them. The question becomes, do I drop the annoyance of Netlings? And I just don't think I do, because it gives me so much power in the challenge. it means you can roll into a lord, or like into a unit with supported by characters, and as long as it's not like a chaos lord, I feel good about winning that because they're going to be hitting me on 5s. I'm going to be hitting them on 3s a lot of the time. Drop the coin. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Whenever I drop the coin, people are like, but then why are you taking the Shadow Dancer? But maybe it's still good enough because you've still got 3 attacks. Okay, let's just accept that we have to drop the coin. At that point, is the spear good? Weapon skill 8 or something like that. He's going to hit them. Yeah, that was kind of how I felt. I'm wondering if we just go Trickster's Blade. No. Okay, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We'll commit to what we've done. But I think here, let's go back to the Potion of Strength and the Blade Singer. Because that gives you 4 attacks, a weapon skill 6, strength 5 on average, AP 2. And I think that's really good. And that's the punch that we need because we're losing it on the Shadow Dancer. So I think I like that. We're not bothering with Standard Bearer because we don't want to give up standards. Yeah, that makes sense. He's going to hit them. He is going to hit them. We've still got so many points left. So what do we do with the rest of the points now that we've dropped them? That's going to surprise people. This amount of points, I'm really going to like. I'd love to have the Way Watchers in. Because they have Ignores cover. I could probably make an argument for Arcane Bodkins on the Way Watchers. But there's just no way to fit them in because we're already super... We can't fit them in, Brian, is the problem. Because we'd need the Waystalker as well. And I just can't see a world where we fit a Waystalker in because we're so tight on characters, right? Like, everything in here has such a... You can give a ruby ring to the Waystalker. I said I'd look at the Waystalker. I don't think there's anything that's going to convince me, but let's at least look at them because they're the last character that we didn't look at. I'm not including the tree characters because I don't think they're necessarily worth looking at here. Like, as we've been saying, you want to play in a certain playstyle and they don't play to it. If you want to run the level 4 and level 2, yeah. I think if you go Waystalker, we have to drop the Oaken Stave, and I'm not comfortable with that. I think it's so strong. So, what do we got here? Ballistic Seal 7 is good. 2 attacks, so you can't even really get value out of the bow. I'll be surprised at the value of 7 ranges, about 96 points. Let's have a look. So 7 ranges. I think I would be surprised because they're super squishy, so they don't get anywhere. They're close order, so you don't have the flexibility of getting around. They don't have evasive, so I can't put them in a wood and then respond to incoming attacks and get out of the way. I just don't see how I ever get them into combat with anything that matters because they're so linear. I can give them shields so they get up to a 5-up save, but they're still just not. I don't think it's going to be worth. Yeah. Alright, so let's go back to the Waystalker. So yeah, so Swift Shiver, the problem is... Oh, he is Strength 4 as well. Okay, so that's nice. And if I go to the Bow of Loren, could get to 3 attacks for like 46 points. And it just doesn't feel good. Yeah, if you're trying to get a combo charge, like after something else dies, I think I'd just go for the swords. How would Wild Riders fit in? Chris, yeah, so Wild Riders are a unit you could put into your list. I think I'm too concerned about the frenzy. Like, if you're playing against really good players, they should be able to frenzy bait you out. And I don't know how you avoid that, because it's very easy for Wood Elf screening units to die. Sniping just doesn't work. Yeah, because it's been clarified that you can look out Sir them, right? Yeah, this just doesn't do anything, does it? Valerian's Mantle. Oh, is that the cheap ward save? Hold on, let's have a look, Joseph. Go back to the magic items.
Another informative stream by Eddie Order from YouTube.
Thanks, buddy. Glad to have you back. or still here with us. So the problem with the Relarian's Mantle is, yes, you do get a 4-up ward, but then you only ever get... I guess you're only getting a 5-up armor save, because you combo the light armor with the shield. The only cool thing the Waystalker can do is Punklum casts on Pegasi Magic Carpet. So if we talk about it in terms of Pegasi, because realistically nobody takes Magic Carpet, but they do take Pegasi, you're looking at a T4 model, right, for Empire. I think it's T4. Let me just double check. I'm about to say something stupid. It might be T3 for an Empire Wizard. Yeah, so it is T4, and you've got 4 wounds because the Pegasi gives you +1. So... how many wounds? So let's assuming that you're wounding on 4s, and you've got Swift Shiver, so you're hitting them. Realistically, let's just assume you're hitting on 2s. You need to, over the course of the game, I don't think you even kill the caster in terms of sniping them. God, that sucks. That really sucks. They're just so inefficient. There's just nothing in here that I can see that makes them worth taking. And that's really sad. Dragon is a 4-up, then you get a 4-up. So, Joseph, if you want the effect of the ward save from the armor, you have to use the armor. So you can't use the dragon's full plate. It's the same as the light armor that Tomb Kings have, the Armor of Ages. So if you want to benefit from having the better save, you've got to use the light armor plus shield save of a 5-up, and then you get to use the 4-up ward save. I think if you're going for the dragon, I'd be mostly tempted to go for the Armor of Meteoric Iron Talisman of Protection build. That gets you to a 5-up, 5-up for relatively cheap. Waystalkers are overcost for what they do. Silvered Steel Talisman of Protection. Yeah, no worries, Joseph. Great weapon. You're welcome. Yeah, I think we've kind of hit a logical end. Let's wrap this list up here. So I think the list that I'm going to test is probably this Violence one, which is the Lord, Double Shadow Dancer, Spellweaver, Spellsinger. Then we've got all this here. Honestly, I might play around with the core. But we've got double War Dancer, which is kind of spicy. The Stag Violence, how do we round this off? So we've got... Oh, you need to have the Annoyance of the Netlings. I cut that, but I don't want to cut it. So this, yeah. Oh no, we've already got the Annoyance of Netlings. God damn it. So you can have Resplendence of Luminescence back. That's good. And I just don't know what I want to put in. I want to put more Deepwood Scouts in, but every format I play is Rule of 3. I guess we're just going probably more Glade Riders again. So let's just remove that and go down to 5, and then put a unit of Glade Riders in with Musician, and we're just going to use them as a secondary Vanguard. Not Vanguard. This is Glade Guard, not Glade Riders. A secondary Fire and Flee, or Fire and Fade unit, right? They have Fire and Flee already, so give them Reserve Move, give them Hagbane Tips, give them Musician, give them a full command with the Vanguard banner, and we go up to 7. And if we drop the Musician here, can we go up to 8? Still too many points. God damn it. I guess we just lose the Sergeant because we don't really care about that. Yeah, so this is kind of the list, I think. This is roughly what we're looking at. So I'll play one of these. And I'll try and test it into something brutal to get a good limit test. I'm really interested to see how the Shadow Dancer goes. I want them to do well. And I think the Potion of Strength War Dancer champion is a spicy take as well. We got the Double Stag, which is my comfort zone. It's just, we've got slightly more shooting and slightly less Pillar of, or a lot less Pillar of Fire than the list was previously. So this is going to struggle into Tomb Kings. As long as they get into combat, they'll do work. Yeah, I'm kind of envisioning using them around my... my own wood as a defensive unit. That's probably what I'm thinking. They just don't do well into dragons or shooting. don't put them so far forwards they eat bow fire. Yeah, I'm going to play them around wood. So have them like in a wood and then have them evasive backwards if they need to. So just have them an inch into the wood so that they can potentially charge. But then you've got to deal with the charge range. Well, there's some room to play around there. But yeah, that's good. Any last questions we want to wrap up? Because I think that's pretty much took us to the end. Is there anything that we haven't looked at that people are interested in looking at? Do you know what faction you're playing your list against? No, I haven't lined up a game, but I'll try and get something meta like Warriors of Chaos or Tomb Kings, something that's going to push me. That's the thinking. It depends what people are available to play, honestly. If I find someone who is willing to play and they want to play Beastman, then we're playing Beastman. It is what it is. Good luck. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. Well, I think that brings us to the end, and we'll call it there for the evening. And there will be a very fun video coming up on Sunday. It seems so damn squishy. That is the problem. Yeah, if you can get them to a 2-up save, you feel real good. And that's why Dark Elves are more of a comfort zone for me, because it's easy to get like T4 2-up save cavalry. But yeah, there's a fun video coming with Max from Barefoot Minis on Sunday. We do some wild speculation about Cathay. That's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking about that one. So we'll, yeah,